just filming yourself eating?
Yeah.
You're a weird homosexual.
Why me, man? Why me?
Erin Kim and her friend Elliot were at an In-N-Out Burger in San Ramon, California on Christmas Eve when they say they were verbally attacked with racist and homophobic slurs by another customer.
It's because I'm ethnic. Honestly, for eating this fine Dutchman, I kind of feel like I deserve to be hate crime.
The pair uncomfortably laughed at first while the man spoke to them.
Japanese or Korean?
I'm Korean.
Kim Jong-un's boyfriend, huh? You're Kim Jong-un's boyfriend?
You know, we have been acquainted.
You've had gay sex with him?
Ooh, would not go that far. We're only on second base.
Kim Jong-un.
He hasn't taken me out to dinner yet.
Kim realized the incident was escalating.
Can I take you out to dinner?
Come on, stop.
Nothing.
Stop.
I'm
You
sorry.
said
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I'm sorry, my
You said
bad.
what?
I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything.
No, sir.
I'm gonna
Nothing.
get spit in your face and some Filipino. Want some
Don't do
Filipino?
that. Why were you acting mad? Dude, we should get assaulted.
Then they say the man then appeared to threaten them.
Anyways, you can try the. Anyways, you can try the fry.
I'm chilling, don't worry. This is not in the name of holiday cheer.
The man reportedly returned to get his order and kept harassing others. Erin and Elliot say they didn't leave until they felt safe. The video was viewed on social media by many, including San Ramon Police Chief Denton Carlson. He said this sounded like another man they were looking for and asked for help finding him. 40-year-old Jordan Douglas Craw was arrested for allegedly violating California's hate crime laws. Police told Inside Edition that Craw bailed out and was no longer in custody. They are meeting with the district attorney's office to request that criminal charges be filed.
Why me, man? Why me?
This is Inside Edition Digital.
Man, this dude has got to be the biggest beta male of the century, just walking up to people at a fast food joint of all places and trying to ruin their lunch by projecting his own self-hatred onto them, as well as apparently other patrons who were in the restaurant. And then homeboy ended up going to a Target and spewing some more self-projected anger at other people, some unresolved childhood trauma that he hasn't fixed because he's a big-ass pussy. Dude is, I mean, the funny thing is, like, this guy, it's not like he's an 18-year-old kid or, 22 or 23. That would be a little more understandable. It's like, okay, you don't know anything yet. Maybe grew up with a single mom, which I'm sure this dude did, by the way, right? We'll give him a break. But no, this clown has been on the planet for 4 decades, since 1982, right? He's almost as old as my DeLorean. This guy has been around for the last 40 years. He's 40 years old, and he's still going out there acting like a blue pill, weak-ass, estrogen-filled beta male. Okay? A reactive little bitch. That's what he is at the end of the day, right? And props to this Asian kid, right? Props to the Asian kid for not reacting, right? He just didn't react, right? Obviously, much of that was because he was concerned about his safety, right? And not only that, but the safety of his girl, which these days you have to be, right? You have to be these days. And I think clowns like this, see, the problem with clowns like this guy is he knows that. He knows that people are in fear of their safety and they probably won't do anything, right? Whereas back in the day, he could just go back to the 90s. Don't even have to go all the way back to 80s. If he tries this, this malarkey back in the 80s, if he walked into a fast food restaurant, he'd probably get his ass kicked. And obviously, this is one dude who needs a good ass kicking. This dude needs a good ass kicking, right? And I don't know much about him. I did try to do a little bit of research, but just based on my own observation and because I go out so much, because I socialize so much, because I've been teaching this stuff forever and I teach thousands of guys around the world, I can tell you that this dude probably grew up with some privilege, right? He probably grew up in a family where they had money, right? Maybe they weren't Rockefeller or anything like that, but probably grew up in a family that had resources where he did not have to struggle. He did not have to work hard. He did not have to try in life. And because of that, it creates almost this like anger inside of him because he can't duplicate his parents' success. I've seen this very often, especially when I've had students on boot camp who came from money, right? I notice these guys don't like to try. They feel guilty. There's this like self-hatred because they can't push themselves to try, and they can't identify what's wrong and why they don't want to try. It's because they never had to work for it, right? Whereas like guys who struggled growing up, like me and you, we like grew up in families where we didn't have a whole lot of money. We know what it's like to struggle, and we know how to adapt, improvise, and overcome, as they say in the Marines, right? We know how to adapt, improvise, and overcome. We become stronger, not only physically, but especially mentally and spiritually, right? We know what that takes. And because of that, we have empathy for other human beings, right? We know that other people out there have struggles. So we're not just going to walk up to random people in the freaking In and Out and start trolling them. Okay? And the thing about dudes like this that really just burns my bridges is they're like bullies, right? They never pick on somebody their own size. They always look for the easy targets, right? They always look for the easy targets. I mean, this guy, so he harangued them, this Asian couple, the young Asian couple. And again, props to that Asian kid for being icy and non-reactive, right? There's a few critiques I have about what he could have done better, right? Which I'll get into in a second. But regardless, so this guy, he goes after them, and then he drives over to the Target in San Ramon, and he starts haranguing like a Filipino family, right? Like, they're not going to do anything. I mean, really, dude, if you had any balls whatsoever, if you weren't such a blue pill pussy, you would take your ass over to Compton and try that stuff there, right? Go to a fast food joint in Compton and walk in and find some gangbangers and then try that. Do that in there, because I'll give you props if you do that, right? If you do that and film it, I give you props, right? But you won't do that, will you? Because you're a pussy, right? So you look for easy targets like any bully would, right? And another thing is, this dude isn't even from that area. He's from Denver, Colorado. What is your ass doing in San Ramon, California? Which I'm very familiar with, by the way, because it's just about 40 minutes outside of San Francisco. I grew up in San Francisco, born and raised there. So me and my friends would always kind of like go all around the Bay Area and just explore, right? And San Ramon is by Danville. I was actually looking for homes out in Danville at one point. But I'm very familiar with San Ramon. It's just quiet neighborhoods, peaceful. People are just wanting to keep to themselves. And they don't look for trouble, right? Again, this is why this dude isn't even from the community. It's like, why are you going to somebody else's community? I mean, what nerve do you have? I mean, do this in your own community. Go do this in Denver. Don't like bring your ass to Cali and go to some community that you're not even from, and start haranguing people. Right? But clearly, this dude has a lot of self-hatred, right? But you know what? That's not anybody else's problem. That's his problem, right? That's your problem, dude. You need to fix that, right? But because you're too much of a pussy to fix things that are wrong with you, you go out there into the world and project them onto everyone else who had nothing to do with your screwed up upbringing. The fact that your parents neglected you, or they gave you too much money, or they didn't teach you work ethic, right? Or they bought you that Mustang that you could drive around in and harass people all day because you don't have to work, you don't need a job. And if this dude does have a job, I hope his job finds out about this, by the way. I mean, I'm not, I'm not for cancel culture or anything like that, but I am for exposing the a-holes of the world, right? Just dudes who do stuff like this and just try to interject themselves in other people's lives, and do it from this very beta and anger and hate-filled way, right? Some things I don't agree with is he did end up getting arrested, by the way. They found this dude, right? Because he was spending, what a clown, right? This dude was spending his entire afternoon going around San Ramon and spewing hatred towards people. I mean, imagine, like, how much do you have to hate yourself in order to spend your day doing this? I mean, does this guy not have anything better to do? Of course not. He doesn't, he's probably not working, or probably doesn't need to worry about his job because parents got dough. This is what happens to these guys. Just turn into little bitches. This is why I do respect guys who do come from money and just don't let that affect the fact that they have to go out there and make their own lives. And they have to go out into the world and try to make a living for themselves and try to stake their own claim, whether they fail or succeed. Right? They got to stake their own claim and, try to be the change that they want to see in the world, right? And so this dude spends his entire afternoon, apparently, he goes to fast food place, then he goes to Target. He's like going from place to place, just haranguing people with his childhood traumas, right? And again, if he would just stop, just don't go to Target, don't go to In-N-Out, just like sit on your couch or something like that, right? Sit on your couch and do some self-reflection and read some self-development books and see why you're so effed up and have some accountability. Start blaming yourself. Stop blaming your parents, because I guarantee this dude's still blaming his parents like the pussy he is, right? Start blaming yourself for what went wrong in your life and fix it. Stop being a little bitch, right? And projecting it onto everybody else, because that's what little bitches do, right? This is what happens too, FYI, when you don't have enough testosterone in your system, right? You have too much estrogen, which clearly he does. This guy has loads of estrogen, clearly enough to fill the Grand Canyon, because he can't control his emotions. He can't regulate himself, right? He can't regulate his emotions. And he's just like he's just like a loose cannon, right? He's like a little girl. He's a little bitch. This is what these guys do, right? And obviously he got triggered because I think he would have came up to them anyway. He was just looking for excuses. This is the problem with guys like this, is like they're just these predatory jackals. They look for excuses to come up to you and start trolling you, or start messing with you, or start trying to make you go inside your head, right? And this guy is clearly one of those. What did he try to do with this Asian kid? He tried to make him go inside his head. He goes, "Hey, you Kim, what nationality are you?" It's like, "Korean." "Are you Kim Jong-un's boyfriend? You have gay sex with him?" And he starts spewing this stuff at him. And the kid is just like staying totally like non-reactive. He was laughing about it, right? He wasn't allowing that dude to get inside his head. He didn't get inside his head at all. Right, and my critiques of him, the only things that I would change, that I would have done differently, is when he said, "What nationality are you?" I would not comply with any of his questions. Right, I wouldn't answer them, or I'd direct them right back at him. Well, what are you? Why are you asking? Why are you so interested? Right? Why are you so curious? Right? I mean, I wouldn't. I probably would have been careful if I were these guys. If I was Asian kid with his girlfriend, I would have been careful, because you don't want her to get hurt, right? It might have been his sister, I don't know, but you don't want her to get hurt. So yeah, I would have been a little more cautious, but still, again, with bullies, you can't really. There's this fine line where you just can't let them see weakness, right? Because when you show them weakness, they just attack more, and that's what he did, right? Whereas when you show them strength and just a little more non-reactiveness, which I think, this Asian kid was just having a good day. He was laughing. He's just enjoying his life. He's a kid, man. And this 40-year-old moron, like, who could be his dad, is like out here trolling. I mean, this is why kids don't respect adults, man. You got jackasses like this out there, trying to prove himself. And he probably left that place going, "Yeah, yep, I'm the man. I feel strong." Dude is such a pussy. He just needs to get knocked out, right? He just needs to get his ass knocked. I would love to just step in the ring with this dude. As a matter of fact, dude, if you're watching this, hit me up, man. We'll jump in the ring. I would love to just knock you out, dude. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, I've dealt with trolls like this all my life. But back in the day, it was a lot safer to just kick their ass, and literally that's what I would do, right? I remember like one incident in particular where the girl I just started seeing at that time ended up breaking up with me because she was just like blown away I was capable of that. And so was the dude like who was trying to like troll me or bully me. I didn't know this guy. I forgot where we were, but we were somewhere in the Bay Area, and some dude who was a little bit older, he just started like saying something behind my back. I think we were walking out of the mall. He just started saying something, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. And he was triggered too because I had a pretty hot girlfriend, right? Her name was what's her name? Vaughn. Her name was Vaughn. Hey Vaughn, right? But we're walking out, and he kept saying that. I was like, is he talking to me? He's talking to me. Yeah, yeah, you. You know, I was like, really? I don't even know him. And then we got out, and I was like, what? Because I was still like, huh? I didn't get it, right? And he was like, what? You know, once he did that, I was like, ha ha. I like grabbed him, and I had him in a headlock, and I started punching his face, right? So I would not do this these days, guys. But I started punching him in the face. He started to go unconscious. I dropped him, and he fell on the floor. My girlfriend's like, I was so disappointed in her. She just started like, oh my gosh. I thought she was worried about me. No, she was worried about him. And she's like, I can't believe it. Take me home. Yeah, I was very, yeah. I mean, I wasn't very sad that ended because I was like, man, you should have backed me up. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't be violent like that. I would not do that these days. I have too much to lose. But back then, I didn't have a whole lot to lose. I just had my IROC Z, and I didn't really have much of a job. I didn't have much to lose, right? So I just started wailing on this guy. And you know what? I guarantee this dude never did that again. I guarantee this dude did not walk into a mall and see some guy with a hot chick that he thought he could beat up and was like, hey, yeah, you, ha ha ha, you, yeah, you. I guarantee he didn't do that again, right? And funny enough, like we're driving home, and she was like, take me home. She didn't want to talk to me. She didn't talk to me for a while, and finally she was like, yeah, I don't want to be with somebody who's violent. I'm like, dude, I was defending us, right? But I lost her because of that, you know, and it's too bad. It's too bad, right? But I was proud of myself, and I did things like that a lot in my 20s, right? And dudes who just didn't think I was capable of that, because I mean, look at me, right? I look harmless, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know. I had that rage in me back then. I did not let people mess with me. And that's the problem is when you get bullied as a child, you still carry that. I think David Spade talked about that. You still carry kind of this reactiveness about you. Whereas now I've learned to control it through just years of self-development. Right. Because I know where these guys are coming from. This is why I know where this clown from In-N-Out, this 40-year-old bonehead is coming from, right? I know exactly, you know, what his family background's like, the fact that his parents probably had money, the fact that he didn't have to work hard. I mean, he's driving a new Mustang with a top down. I mean, give me a break. This guy has some dough, and it doesn't look like he has he can go out there and get a good job with his attitude. It looks like he's being funded, probably by his parents. And his family is probably aware of this too, like, oh my gosh, here he is again. Everyone distance yourself. He's doing it again, right? Their families usually know what this dude is about, and their families don't even want to be around them. So this guy, it creates even more resentment in him. But again, instead of him being a man and looking in the mirror and taking accountability for his own actions, it's just easier, being the pussy he is, to go out there and just project it onto everyone else every single day. And the sad thing is, he does this all the time. You think this is the first time this dude did this? No, he does this all the time, probably daily, right? In order to stay in this bubble, this delusion that it's not his fault that he's the way he is. It's not his fault that he can't get laid, because guys like this can't get laid, FYI. Any women that they do get quickly leave once they find out the guy is so weak, so spineless, so beta. These guys are out. These chicks are out the door, right? So it creates even more resentment in them, right? These guys, you know, just become a walking ball of self-hatred. But again, these are things that you need to fix within yourself. It is nobody else's responsibility out in the world because of things that happened to you as a child. Everybody has had their own traumas as children, right? We have all gone through some crazy stuff growing up. All of us. Not a single person is, exempt from this. All of us. But you know what? We learn to deal with it because that's what you do as an adult, especially as a man. That, especially as a man, right? I understand women making excuses for themselves. That's what they do. They don't take accountability. But guess what, dude? You're like a woman, right? You're a little bitch because you don't want to take any accountability for your own actions and things that happened in your childhood that are now affecting you as an adult, as a 40-year-old man. You know what? 10 years from now, if you don't fix yourself, you're going to be 50 years old, still walking in and out McDonald's and Taco Bell and Jack in the Box and Raising Cane's, you name it, and walking in and harassing innocent families like little Chinese ladies that can't defend themselves, or, 18-year-old Chinese boys that can't defend themselves, or Korean guys at In-N-Out, because you need to stay in this, this bubble where it's not your fault. Right? What kind of life is that? You'll be 60 still doing the same thing. Then you'll be 70, and then you'll be weak enough where these kids will just start kicking your ass, right? They'll just kill you. So, I mean, it's just astonishing, like, this guy has not had his ass kicked yet. Because I tell you, if this dude had his ass kicked, he would not be doing this right now. It's astonishing the patience that some people have. But again, he's like any bully. He chooses his targets carefully, right? This guy, as I said, if he had any balls, he would go to like a bad neighborhood, go to like a rundown fast food joint and look for like dudes who look dangerous and go do this on them. No, he won't. He won't, right? He's just going to continue to look for easy targets like any other pussy ass bully out there. Why don't you fight somebody your own size? Pick on somebody your own size, as they say. Right? He won't. Right? He won't do it because he's a beta male. And he needs to work on himself, but refuses to work on himself. And at 40 years old, I mean, this dude doesn't have much hope. He's been arrested for racism and hate crime or something like that. I mean, that I don't know if I agree with that so much. I mean, if anything, he should just be like ousted for, being the beta male that he is. But I didn't even know there were like these hate crime laws in place in California, because what he said was, it was pretty extreme, but does it really cross that line of like super racist? I don't know, but I mean, obviously the guy is, right? Obviously the guy is. I'm sure he has deeper racist thoughts that he didn't want to say, probably because he realized their camera was on, that he didn't say, right? And then he spewed some like homophobic remarks as well. Racist and homophobic remarks. And FYI, I did find out what party this guy votes. Want to take a guess? It ain't Republican, baby. It's Democrat. This guy votes Democrat. He votes Biden. He votes Obama. I mean, this guy is a Democrat. I don't know if he voted for them, but he is, apparently, from what I've researched, from what I've read, he's a registered Democrat. That's what I've heard, okay? I'm not saying, don't quote me, but that's what I've heard. So, again, with the hypocrisy, because I've always said that the most racist and homophobic, Islamophobic, whatever, people that I've come across have usually been on the left, right? They're the ones, I mean, even in my own, like, the haters that I've gotten, the private messages I've gotten, my staff is just blown away, right? They're blown away that the times where they're able to find out their identities, and we could have easily got them fired, and we didn't. But the times that we're able to find out who it is, they're always on the left. I don't even think we have had a single person, maybe just one out of all the haters in the last 10 years, maybe one was like a Trump supporter, and he could have been lying. He could have been lying because he probably saw my Trump video, right? But 99.9% of the time, it's always been somebody on the left who's like making like racist comments towards me, or like making like gay slurs, or using gay slurs or whatever, because I'm straight, right? Using gay slurs and just saying like the most obscene things. These are the same party that are preaching tolerance, LGBTQ, pride flag, and all that other stuff, right? The hypocrisy. And this guy's no different, right? This dude is no different. I've said before, the number one way to stay alive in life is to mind your own business. And that is something that beta males, guys who are envious, these blue pill trolls, they can't do. They can't just mind their own business, right? Because they have that internalized self-anger and self-hatred that they have to take out on others, right? And again, I've said this has happened to me. It's probably happened to you too, right? But we're not exempt to this. We all deal with a-holes like this in the world. But I'm telling you, the source of where this is coming from, basically where they come from, right? And so there you go. And anyway, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of this story that I shared with you tonight. Obviously, I had a lot to say about it, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, any stories you've had that are similar that have happened to you, please share them in the comments below. I would love to read your story. And yeah, share it below. So, as always, it's Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets. Don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash that notification bell as well. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys want to support my work and everything I'm doing here, if I'm enlightening you, making you a better man, stronger man, smarter man, more spiritual man, best way to support my work is to become a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets program, which I am hosting on a private channel. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium AlphaMaleSecrets content from me. So take advantage of it. Right now, it's only $1. Take advantage of it. You'll find premium AlphaMaleSecrets content from me that you won't find here on my free channel. So that's the best way to support my work. So click the link below, get over to my website, get signed up, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.